Hello everybody, I am your Chief of Wrestling, Craig Anderson, and you're listening to Dirt Sheet Mania, episode 15. Hello and welcome back to your regularly scheduled programming. I am your Chief of Wrestling, Craig Anderson, and I can happily say that I am alongside your Director of Creativity. He creates so you can procrastinate, Kieran Smith. Hi, Kieran.
Live and in living colour.
We can actually touch each other. Like I'm touching him on the knee.
I can touch you. I'm touching you way above the waist, so there's no sexual
way
harassment.
above the waist. No, we can't. It's employee confidentiality, and we're actually in the same room.
We're actually in the same room.
At the same table.
At the same table.
For the first time in 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks.
We've kept shows going though.
Yeah, we've had a bit.
How good are we?
Yeah, we've kept content going, but we've had a tough couple of weeks. You know,
you were poorly.
2 fakes, yeah, and then work and holidays.
I had a little break, which was very nice. But then, even when we tried to reschedule that week, we just couldn't do it. But we still managed to put something out.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll try and we're going to try and make some more content along the way anyway. So this is going to be still weekly review shows. We're still going to try and find a way to get that done, but we're going to have other things coming out there. If I can be serious, new segment called the Raw Ramble. Well,
that's replacing our bridge segment.
Yeah,
because we were desperately looking for a name. Well, sorry, you were desperately looking for a name.
Because I didn't like the bridge segment.
You didn't.
No. Reminds me too much of Chelsea Football Club, and I don't. Like
well, that. No, I give you that. So you don't want them to win the FA Cup final this Saturday? No. Against who?
Against my team.
The Dirty Manx.
Man United.
The Dirty Manx. I personally couldn't care less who wins that match, but I'm going to enjoy watching it though.
You're going to sit there and watch the Royal Wedding instead, aren't you?
It's on at different times.
Well, who cares?
Because William's going to the Royal Wedding.
You're going to watch the replay. You're going to watch the post-show, the pre-show.
Well, of the FA Cup.
Of the Royal Wedding. You know, it's going to be pre-show is going to contain Jerry the King Lawler.
Oh, I like that.
You know,
who's doing talking Raw.
Queen Charmel.
Talking Royale.
Queen Charmel.
Queen Charmel.
Yes.
She'd had a coronation, didn't she? Which was fun.
Maybe you can get the Macho King. The
Macho King, brother. Yeah, I like that. Cool. Okay. Or maybe King Booker. Yeah. King Booker or King Regal.
Prince Pretty.
Oh, like that. Nice.
Apparently, they're going to be live tweeting the Royal Rumble, the Royal Rumble, the Royal Wedding.
We've had 2 of them this year, mate.
Yeah.
The fashion place.
Yeah, they're going to be live tweeting it apparently, which might be funny.
I'm going to watch that.
Not, but
it will be funny. If it's anything like what they're good at.
Yeah.
So the way we're going to do these things now, guys, is we're going to do Raw and Smackdown reviews now, and then in a separate, almost a separate like a side podcast almost, which will come out on the weekend.
Yeah, probably the weekends. We're working out what day's best, but
what is best for business.
Yeah.
In the Dirt Sheet Mania world of podcasting. So that's going to come out on the weekend. So this will come out on Wednesday/Thursday, and this will probably come out Saturday/Sunday.
Yeah. So that's the Royal Ramble, which is basically just a weekly roundup of the week's wrestling news and just our opinion and us rambling on about it.
It literally couldn't be more apropos in the way we've worded it. It is a ramble,
and it's such a great name as well.
We love doing it. We love rambling. I love how we came up with the name. It was literally just a WhatsApp conversation between you, me, and James.
It started off as a ramble, and I was like, no, it's the Royal Ramble, and that was it.
Did I say ramble, and then you said Royal Ramble,
yeah.
And I just said, but that's why we work perfectly well together, because we just come up with the name in 2 seconds, and we've been 4 months trying to think of a name.
Yeah.
So there we go. Not long at all. So. This is the intro, so if you listen to this, thank you and welcome to Dirt Sheet Mania if you've never been here before. This is we're going to start with Raw now, so here comes our Monday Night Raw review.
I am a man at war, and I am fighting for all of the broken people, all of the people thrown overboard. They always try to shame us, but they don't speak the language. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness.
Monday Night Raw kicks off with the big dog in
such a rubbish name.
It's terrible.
It's not. It's like it's the big dog, but you need sort of like a black guy to say it. It's the big dog.
The big dog.
Yeah.
He's a big lad.
Yeah.
He's a big lad.
He's not a dog.
He's not a doggy. No.
Puppy.
We're in the United Kingdom.
We are.
We are in the UK. Weird not going.
Very weird this year.
But
we are going to the UK Championship show on the Tuesday, not the Monday.
No.
On the Tuesday.
Like, there's us, like, you know, we're not saying we're too good for Raw and Smackdown now, guys. But it was cheaper.
Yeah, this could probably go for in our little Raw Ramble segment, but the tickets are getting ridiculously expensive over here.
The 1 year that I'll tell you what, we'll save ticket prices for the Ramble, so check out the Ramble on the weekend. We will talk about ticket prices because angry people.
Yeah.
So yeah, Monday Night Raw starts off with Roman Reigns coming to the ring to a chorus of boos from the United Kingdom audience, and it's not the same sort of boos that Cena used to get. It's the sort of boos. Or it's actually not even the same sort of boos Vicky Guerrero used to get, because they were almost a fun, jokey boo.
Yeah.
This is a serious, we do not like you boos. I mean, if you're Roman, how do you keep on track?
I don't know. There's been a lot of like people talking about Roman and about you know should he be the guy? Is Vince pushing the wrong guy?
Should he be a heel?
Should he be a heel? You know, I said last week in the little segment that I recorded that I think Roman probably could do with a bit of time off. Not because he needs time off, but I think his character just needs time off. Just give him a couple months off, refresh.
I'd be interested to know when Dean Ambrose is back, because I think if Roman left around the same sort of time, it's 1 in, 1 out.
Yeah.
But
if Dean Ambrose comes back and takes out Roman Reigns, Dean's going to get cheered. That's just how it is. So
even if they're not, if it's not supposed to be,
Roman needs to take out Dean. That's the only way.
Get suspended.
Yeah,
perfect way, maybe sideway.
And for the template, the blueprint is Cena. Cena's been booed most of his career by 50% of the audience, roughly every time.
He only started getting really booed when he won the title off JBL.
Yeah.
That was from that point on. He was a good guy, but booed.
Yeah. So, and that's the blueprint, and now they're just. I think they're trying to copy the Cena blueprint, keeping face for 10 years probably, but I don't think you can depend the whole company on one guy like Roman. There are plenty of other guys around on both shows that could be the face of the company.
No,
you don't need one face of the company. Well, you want to build it around 6 or 7 people.
I don't think you can, because there's 2 shows now. You can't, because if you look at SmackDown, you have a Nakamura, you have AJ Styles.
AJ is basically, in my eyes, if I looked at that, AJ is the face of the company. He's the WWE champion.
Yeah. And because there's because the world champion of Raw is going everywhere, all over the gaff, he's not actually on. Brock Lesnar could be the face of the company.
Yeah.
I listen to Sam Roberts, who does the kickoff shows, and he does a podcast of his own, which is brilliant, with Peter Rosenberg, who also does kickoff shows. And they were talking about how they think that Vince McMahon is looking at Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns as, basically, they use the analogy of Vince is a guy, these 2 are girls, and he's now regretting picking one because he now actually loves the other one more. Like,
That's not a bad analogy.
Roman Reigns is the wife,
yeah,
and he's the wife, and he's committed to the wife. But his head's been turned by Braun Strowman, who's this, effectively, for the analogy, this beautiful, new, pretty, better at everything kind of person, girl.
Braun is the big dog.
Braun is a big dog. Look at the size of him. That's a perfect name for Braun.
And I think that's what it's even, because it might be just the way he's been pushed since his sort of re-debut when the brand started.
Little and often.
Yeah, but we'll talk about Braun later. But at the moment, they don't know what they're doing with Braun.
Not Scooby-Doo, do they?
So
not Scooby-Doo. They went into WrestleMania, me thinking, and they didn't know what they were doing with Finn. They didn't know what they were doing with Seth. They didn't know what they were doing with Braun. They kind of know what they're doing with Seth now, but they still don't know what they're doing with Braun. They definitely don't know what they're doing with Finn.
No.
Now that the boys have gone over to SmackDown as well, he looks proper lost, which is an absolute crying shame, quite frankly. Anyway, Monday Night Raw opens. There we go. 5 minutes in, get to Raw.
Yeah.
Roman's in the ring, and he wants Jinder, because Jinder cost him his Money in the Bank qualifying match. And fair enough. Perfect little storyline walking into this. If you're going to get Roman cheered, it's against someone like a Jinder, who plays the heel and the foil for a babyface perfectly. We can dispute the fact that he worked or didn't work as a WWE champion. He's great at what he does as a heel.
Yeah,
he does get people over as a babyface. Kurt Angle comes out, and he actually ends up saying, unfortunately, because Roman wanted Jinder, and he said, no, he can't have Jinder. Jinder's in a Money in the Bank qualifying match tonight with Bobby Lashley and Elias, which is in our main event. But Roman wants it in, which you know, the fact that someone like Roman wants in another shot in a kayfabe terms, you can't have two more. You can't have another shot at Money in the Bank. Okay, you got screwed, but hey, that's life, man.
Yeah.
Like, people get screwed in wrestling all the time, and they don't always get necessarily what they want. And Kurt actually said it's best for business that you're not in this match. Well, when Kurt said best for business, he didn't do it in a nice way, did he?
No.
He didn't want to say it.
No, he didn't.
Stephanie's in his ear, already.
Yeah. There's got to be some sort of blow off to the Angle Stephanie sort of thing at some point. They had obviously the match at WrestleMania with Ronda, but
Which they lost.
But there has to be some sort of, you know, Triple H versus Angle match or something.
I think SummerSlam's a perfect time for that.
Possibly.
You know, I'm actually a little surprised it didn't happen in Abu Dhabi. I mean, Saudi Arabia, beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Because Triple H did wrestle John Cena. Why wouldn't he wrestle Kurt Angle?
Yeah.
That kind of would have made a little bit more sense.
Well, apparently the Saudis picked the matches they wanted to see.
They wanted the guy with the hat and the guy with the crown on the show.
Yeah.
Because they were told they were going to be on commentary right up to the start, and then it's like on the pre-show. So. Okay, fair enough. They also apparently they wanted the Yokozuna, the Ultimate Warrior, and Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, hard conversation to have if you're a WWE official and you're saying to them,
Who is it? Who is it that done? It was Curtis Axel, wasn't it? That he'd done a spoof version of Hulk Hogan.
Axel Mania. Yeah.
Should have just got him as Hogan.
Then they would have noticed the difference.
I don't know.
Curtis is brilliant though. Anyway, we'll talk about Curtis and Bo slightly later on. So anyway, Curtis says you can't be in this match, and Roman talks to Kurt not as a wrestler but as a father in this little segment, because he goes, look, it's a hard decision for you, because they could easily then start working this towards Roman and Kurt kind of having an issue and not getting on, which at times it looked a bit like that, and I thought, I'd love to see a Roman Kurt match. That'd be pretty sweet, wouldn't it? That'd be lovely. That quality of match would be excellent. And then the Roman kind of completely flatlines that and goes, look, mate, you are a general manager. You have a family. You have a job to do, you know. It's not personal. It's just you're just doing what you think. Kurt's like, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But then Roman's like, well, so am I. I'm a father, and I have to go and do what I have to do. And you kind of have a feeling where this is going. We'll skip to it because later on that night, Jinder is he's preparing for the match. I think he's walking to maybe Gorilla, walking to the ring to kind of get ready and get himself in that mind frame to qualify for Money in the Bank, to become Money in the Bank. You know, Mr. Money in the Bank holder. And Roman basically corners him. Jinder throws Samir in the way.
Yep.
I mean, if they were both with them, that'd have been hilarious because Roman would probably just destroy both of them.
Exactly.
He kills him.
Yeah.
Like completely.
And I think this segment was to try and get, you know, that babyface reaction, that Stone Cold sort of, you know, rebel sort of just beating up anyone as, you know, beating people up backstage. I don't think it worked.
Well, no, I don't think it did as well. The other thing that they went to is that after sort of Jinder, you know, hey man, you know, you're okay as long as the pain's enough. The medic said that you can go, you can wrestle tonight. Then Roman's speeding through a wall.
Yeah.
He's speeding through a wall. So we'll pick up that a little bit later on because now you're thinking, who on earth is going to be in the main event? Because Jinder clearly can't wrestle.
Yeah. So Roman speared Jinder through a wall, which is very much the Braun Strowman treatment, which got Braun over
through a barricade.
So, you know. So, you know.
They can't just copy and paste.
No.
It's not that easy.
It almost seems lazy booking. You know,
we were with him. Let's do it with the other guy.
This might sound like I'm crapping on Roman Reigns. I'm not.
You're not here on him. It's the writing.
Yeah. I think Roman Reigns is a tremendous wrestler. I think he's better than Cena in the ring, in between the four ropes, or the four sides of the ring.
Mm-hmm. Squared circle.
Yeah, that's the one.
But
yeah, I think he's better than that. I don't think his promos are better than Cena, but Cena's, I'd say, has obviously just got better and better from when he first started. You know, but I'd say in terms of that, he's better. But I just don't think the writing and him probably being a babyface is just working right now. Turn him heel for a bit, get the crowd behind him that way, and then turn him babyface.
The reason that we're led to believe that John Cena was never turned heel was two reasons: one, the Make-A-Wish, and two, the sales of merchandise. I don't think Roman is either of those things. So the reason to turn him heel, I don't think it'd be a big risk at all.
The thing is, if you put John Cena and Roman Reigns next to each other and you said which one looks like the heel, you're going to say Roman Reigns.
He's dressed in black with long black hair and a goatee.
Exactly, he's got the look already.
He legitimately does have the look.
He could be, as Paul Heyman says, the Samoan badass. Oh, that's what he'd be.
I'd keep the trousers and the big old boots. I would get rid of the vest because he looks. What kind of a badass big dog babyface guy has a bulletproof vest on? I mean, the only person.
But it's established, and it's
daft, mate. It is daft.
That's the thing. Like you talk.
He's ripped underneath that thing.
Well, yeah, but you talk the Shield, and Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose and their ring gear have evolved from the Shield, whereas Roman Reigns is still technically
his music hasn't either.
Still wearing the same Shield get-up. The music's the same.
When Seth left them, Dean's music changed 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Two weeks. And then Roman's turned into this slower version. 2-point version.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But his lyrics to the song are the best.
They are, which are...
Check it out on YouTube. Just check Roman Reigns' theme song lyrics.
Guy with the... Anyway, yeah, check it out. Baron Corbin versus Bobby Roode versus No Way Jose in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. Why?
So apparently this was a match because they're newcomers to Raw and they've made a good impression since they've joined the Monday Night Raw roster.
Corbin, yeah, because he's battered No Way Jose. Bobby Roode, yes. No Way Jose, no. He beat a jobber, an enhancement talent. He's danced around a bit. What stage has he actually impressed anyone?
I think you underestimate the power of what No Way Jose's dancing can do to people.
You know what I'm like with No Way Jose. In NXT,
I never liked him until he learned how to switch.
Yeah, because him and Austin Aries had a very good rivalry.
I think in this match, I think he done a good enough job of that. He's obviously come out, had the conga line, probably full of UK.
They were.
Yeah.
Dean Allmark was there, who's a PCW Cruiserweight champion and head of the All-Star Brian Dixon's company, or the oldest wrestling company in the entire United Kingdom. He's their head trainer. I believed Sexsmith was in there as well, who's from what I understand, a Progress graduate as well. He's a very, very good wrestler in his own right. There was a couple of other guys in there. They do appear later on, actually, in the Carmella thing on SmackDown as well. Dean Allmark's there again. Sexsmith is there again. And, crumbs, his name. His name is Jack. He's a ginger guy with goatee. He was actually on the stage for the WWE United Kingdom tournament last year, but him and Chris Tyler didn't wrestle. Yeah. They ended up just being part of the dark matches on the night. So the three people doing these thing segments are okay guys.
So from No Way Jose's conga line to him getting in the ring, I think he showed that he's got wrestling ability. He's still having fun in the match.
Apparently, he did this gimmick on the Indies.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me.
But at first, it was in NXT.
It wouldn't surprise me, but I think he showed a good enough showing on Raw to show that he can actually wrestle and he can put on a good match with people against certain people. I would say I'm all for the fun, the dance, and everything before the match, but it's like in that I can't remember who his NXT feud. It might against Austin Aries, I think it might.
We switched.
Yeah, where he just had that switch. He punched him in the face, and Jose.
Jose Mourinho.
Jose just went.
Same spelling.
I'm gonna start unleashing a few haymakers now.
Yeah.
You know, so I hope he still carries on doing it, and he doesn't just become a dancing gimmick.
Well, at the end of the day, Bobby Roode wins this match and is qualified pins No Way Jose. Qualifies for Money in the Bank in 5 weeks now.
Yeah. What I liked about Bobby Roode winning this is Baron Corbin got thrown into the ring post and he went outside, and then Bobby Roode done the glorious DDT, got the pin on No Way Jose, and he looks round. He looks round at Corbin, and I was like, that little thing there, like he was expecting Baron to come in to attack him. Love that. Just a little thing like that.
Because by doing that, in my opinion, doesn't make just Bobby look clever. It makes Corbin look good.
Yeah.
Just Corbin is on the floor, just been thrown into ring post, and it makes Corbin still look dangerous.
Yeah.
Just because he knows he can't trust him, because why would he? And he knows he needs to keep an eye out for him. He's not just because outside the ring. And do you know what? Little touches.
Yeah, and he done it for a good minute. Even when he was on the turnbuckle, he was still looking around. I just thought it was a great little addition to it. You know.
There's a new team on Raw. I say they're a new team. They've got a new name.
They've got a new name.
It's the B team.
It's the B team.
But they wanted to be called the A team.
Yeah, so then a backstage segment with Kurt Angle, they said they wanted to be called the A team, and Kurt goes, oh, sorry guys, you can't be called the 18. There's already a TV show / movie remake reboot that come out called the 18. And then I think it might have been Curtis Axel. I think it was Curtis Axel goes, we're going to be called the B Team. And Bo's like, we can't be called the B Team. And then he goes, no, we're called the B Team. And it was just a cool little segment. These two deserve somewhat, they've been around a while now. They've been sort of wavering, but apparently they've never won a match on Monday Night Raw.
Well, according to Michael Cole, he does allude. They won tonight. They do beat. I can't even remember. They beat Breezango.
Yeah.
I couldn't even remember who they beat. They beat Breezango on Raw, and Cole was extremely excited to tell us that is the first ever time that these two have won a match on Monday Night Raw. I think as a tag team.
I think they've obviously won 6-man tags with Miz and
singles matches.
Yeah.
Former NXT champion and a former Intercontinental champion. These two are no slouchers.
So this match, obviously facing Breezango, is the mandatory "Let's roll out Fandango in front of the UK" sort of segment.
Yes. People did that Fandango.
People did do the Dango. Still love it. Still love it over here. Weirdly. But then obviously people behind the B Team. There was an A-Team theme tune chant along in the crowd, which I thought was quite good. The thing is though, I don't think a lot of people, a lot of young people, would get what the A-Team theme tune is. But obviously the 40-year-olds,
look it up.
Yeah, the 30 to 40-year-olds who probably know about it in the crowd probably got that over as and it's quite an easy chant to come along. I quite enjoyed it. I was sitting there just humming along to it as well. Yeah, so
you can't not do it with a smile on your face.
Yeah. So
at the end of the match, they did say that they wanted Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy.
Yeah,
which is interesting because Bo Dallas is the real life brother of Bray Wyatt. Incidentally, Matt and Bray, they did wrestle themselves on this Monday Night. Well, they faced the Revival in a non-title match. Now, they did have a finish, which was, for Bray, a little bit, I'll just have to beat him and throw you into him. And it was like, sort of a Sister Abigail into a Twist of Fate. They now have a finisher. It's in all layman's terms, it's a double Sister Abigail. But I think it's called, let me just make sure, it's called, I've written it down here. The Kiss of Deletion.
It's not bad.
So Bray gives them a little smooch, and then they both do the Sister Abigail, on one on either side.
So,
it didn't look very good on Raw. No, it was a little bit.
My
legs here and your legs there.
Yeah, I'm sure they might come up with something else. They're still fairly new tag team. I know they're tag
team champions though.
They're still a new tag team.
They are.
The Revival. Do they need to be revived and been thrown into the lake of reincarnation?
Oh, they need something. I mean, we've spoken about how I think Bobby Roode should be a heel. How the Revival haven't really did anything. When the Ascension came up, they didn't do anything. And this is just one example, or 3 examples in that case, of Triple H sees one vision and Mr. McMahon sees another. And that is what you have to accept being on those 2 different shows. One is led by one person, one is led by another. They're all, for all intents and purposes, they're probably 2 different companies.
Yeah.
And people when they're in NXT and they get called up to the main roster, they say this is their WWE debut. They've never been in WWE.
The Revival are quite small guys in terms of height.
How much do they weigh?
That's what I'm wondering.
Because if the Cruiserweight Tag Division comes around...
I think they're probably a little bit heavier, I'd say.
You could probably sort something out.
I think they're a bit...
200 pounds
They're a bit bottom heavy.
They're thick.
Yeah, they're thick. They're thick on the bottom half.
Strong lads.
But
the stance on them, the thighs on them. Oh,
potentially a Cruiserweight. Maybe they're just waiting around for that. Maybe, I don't know. Interesting side piece where the Authors of Pain on Raw. Yeah.
Talk us through it.
No, were they on Raw?
Exactly.
I don't think they were.
They weren't on Raw.
No.
Did they make the plane?
Don't know.
Who knows? I haven't seen them on any of the Instagrams or the Snapchats or the...
That's very good. I thought, we've been saying that the Authors of Pain served called up for the last 6 months. Now they're here and not really done anything.
I get why they would squash a few teams.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Because just squashed a UK tag team.
Why not? Yeah. Well, where are they? Seth Rollins has another Intercontinental Open Challenge. Now, when I saw this, I thought, perfect. Pete Dunne.
I would have loved it.
Even saw him tweet out going, oh, really?
Once he tweeted it out, I was like, nah, it's not happening.
And then within a day, Kevin Owens had answered it on social media. So I was like, I had that instant, well, why couldn't it have been Pete or Tyler or someone else? And then I very quickly realised that it's Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins on Raw. I was like, actually, it's going to be a really good match. And it was a really good match. Seth retained. I really like the way they've done this because obviously Kevin throws Seth into the ring. and then as he's getting in the ring, Seth gets up, curb stomp. Very good, caught him off guard. Yeah. It's one of those moves like a stunner or a rock bottom that you can just hit from like out of nowhere, and it's or an RKO for that matter. I did have a slight issue with the way they were calling one of the moves. So at one point, both of them were on the apron, right? And Kevin was about to sorry, they were on the edge. Sorry, they were on the thing, and Kevin and Michael Cole was selling. But if Kevin Owens does his powerbomb, apron powerbomb, you know, he's ended careers, and it's terrible, terrible move. And then they get both onto the apron after Seth counters that, and then Seth does a Falcon Arrow, I believe, Falcon Arrow suplex onto Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
And they sell it as it's a bad thing, but it is worse than a powerbomb, and they're selling. They're not even mentioning that it's. I don't.
We could go
just inconsistency.
We could go into a debate about what move theoretically hurts the most and everything like that. You could sit there for days. Like,
Finger poker doom.
Yeah, exactly. That's the worst move ever.
Because it hurts your credibility.
But you can go in and say what should hurt more and what should. But you know, there's always going to be this level of things. You know, there's like, I know like Big Show's knockout punch, right? I know it's a punch.
Hogan's leg drop.
You know, Hogan's leg drop.
The people's elbow. The worm.
Right? But why?
It's an awful move.
Yeah. So why are they finishes? You know, I get maybe Big Show's knockout punch. That was a probably bad example, but still, it's still a punch. You know.
I know what you're getting at.
But you know the way John Cena does his Death Valley Driver is more sort of fireman's carry like, but
soft drive.
It's look, we can talk about it all day about what moves should hurt more, but it's as long as that move should put him away. If that's
Falcon out on the apron,
yeah,
100%.
And that's the thing. It's not a case of what the move and how it looks and how it damaged. It's if it does look like a bad move that puts them away, it should put them away.
Yeah.
That's why Roman Reigns' Superman punch doesn't put him away anymore.
No.
His spear should put him away every time.
They pretty much do though.
Yeah.
He spears him.
Every time Cena shouldn't have to do 3 AAs a match.
Oh, don't stop.
Maybe against an AJ Styles, maybe, but you know, these moves need to be credible.
Credible.
If they're credible,
saved.
Yeah.
For big games.
If they're credible, they'll look better.
So Kevin Owens loses this match. It's not the last time we'll see Kevo later tonight. His tag partner. We'll talk about Sami Zayn, because Sami has an issue with Bobby Lashley. So if you've not seen, there's been vignettes over the last week or two with Bobby Lashley being a family man. You know, he's back. He's like this, almost this like good American kind of guy, because he used to be in the army.
He could be a real American.
He could be an American. Oh, what, like Jack Swagger or Kurt Angle,
future tag team champions of the world.
Jack Swagger and Bobby Lashley, former. Well, you know, Jack Swagger's in Lucha Underground now. Can't wait for that to come back. And Sami has an issue with Bobby, and he reckons he's lying. And next week on Raw, because apparently they couldn't pay for the Lashley sisters' airfare to England.
Well, I think because Sami said he was bringing him to Raw, and he said if he would even just said, I could have brought him here today, but I'm not being funny. I'm not paying the airfares.
Yeah, but
probably would have got a pop.
That's funny though. Yeah. He's a heel. Yeah. He shouldn't be funny.
Well, it would have got a pop. Though.
It would have got a pop.
You know, it makes sense. And even as a heel, why would you bring this? Bring his sisters over to this godforsaken country or whatever, you know. That's that's what it should have been.
And apparently Sami, when Bobby suplexed him, that Sami actually contracted the first ever bout of vertigo.
Yeah, I thought it was funny as well.
Which was just very funny. I love it when he
just to cover up the fact that he's Syrian and he wasn't allowed in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, he wouldn't want to go. That was what you hear different contrasting stories, but the main story is that he didn't want to go. And we're not going to get into that because we'll be here for days. I love it when Sami has a piece of paper and he has his reading glasses on.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes me laugh very hard. Just the way they sit on the edge of his nose. He's like, hello everyone, look at me. Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Next time he'll come out of a pipe or something, you know. Just proper old man Sami.
Got the hat.
So the hat, so when I saw Bobby Lashley's thing, I was like, are they feuding over the fact they wear the same hat?
Booker T and Edge once feud over a hair shampoo commercial.
Yeah.
For WrestleMania. Yeah. Hats aren't the worst thing to feud over. You know?
Clearly Bobby wants to be Sami.
Well, Bobby's worn that for years.
Yeah.
But not on WWE television.
Yeah.
So why not? Pick holes. So next week we'll see Lashley and Sami on Raw with Lashley's sisters. Sami will expose him.
In this sort of little backstage thing with Bobby, did they actually show pictures of his sisters?
They're in the video package.
They are in the video package. I was just wondering maybe if they get just free
Because in the main event, there's chance of Bobby's sisters.
Yeah, but
For
I'm
Bobby.
just saying, in terms of the segment, are they actually going to get Bobby's sisters in, or are they going to get actresses in to replace them?
If they're not in the video package, I missed the boat. But
No, I don't know. I genuinely can't remember. But I'm just thinking, in terms of this segment and what they're going to do, you know, having Bobby's real sisters in there, depending on what the segment is, could it be a problem?
as long as the same people that are in the video, are in this thing. If they're actresses in the video, but they're the same people come here, then who cares?
Yeah.
If they're different people, then it's like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Because we can just watch the video.
It was just a thought.
No, it's a well thought out thought. Because continuity, Kieran. If it was a film, you wouldn't have Captain America played in the first scene, and then the third scene he's a different person.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Cool.
You'd like to think that
I direct you to the movie The Crow.
The Crow.
Because the matey who played him died during filming.
Oh, but that's the same as Dumbledore.
No.
But that was 2 films in. But you can't help it if somebody dies.
You can.
You're
Bring him back to life.
CGI.
Yeah. So that's what they do now.
Princess Leia.
Yeah. Exactly.
She passed away. Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James versus Bayley in a women's Money in the Bank qualifying match. Both briefcases are now hung above the ring.
Yeah, I like that.
Last week it was
that, yeah.
one, then they drop it, then they bring the other one down, then they drop it. Both are there.
The men's briefcase is slightly bigger than the women's.
Let's not read too much into that.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Assuming the white one is the women's.
Because it was last time.
Yeah.
No tag one, by the look of it, which was rumoured. 3 ladder matches in one night.
And it looks like on SmackDown, there's not going to be a tag one, because there was a way that they could have made it into a tag one, but you know.
Oh, with the New Day and
New Day and the bar.
But they've sorted that out.
Yeah.
We still don't know who,
Still don't know,
but we'll talk about
yeah.
that later. This is basically a glorified handicap match for the most part.
When I done it, when I
So
sat-
you were there?
I was there,
Kieran
yeah.
Smith,
Yeah.
did you wrestle against
No,
these
I
ladies?
refereed. I took
because
I'm better than you.
you're tall. You're too tall for a ref.
I know.
And hairy.
And
Very
fat.
hairy.
And fat.
You're not fat.
Yeah. So and I saw this. Hang on, then Alexa and Mickey, like tag partners, like friends. I was like,
frenemies.
and I was like,
That word.
why are they in this match? I just didn't realise. And then obviously, you know,
Things happen.
yeah, and Mickey tries pinning Alexa and things like that. So you know, it was. I'm not being funny. Even if you had to wrestle your friend to win a Money in the Bank briefcase, you're going to do it.
I'd kick the crap out of
Yeah,
you
exactly. I would.
for Money in the Bank. Mickey. Sorry, not Mickey. Alexa pins Bayley again.
Yeah.
And moves on to Money in the Bank. There is another women's match on later. It's a 6 women's tag.
Yeah.
I've not written it down here because it was just a match.
Yeah, it was just
Was it Sasha,
Natalia, and Ember Moon
versus the Riot
versus
Squad?
The Riot Squad.
Ember Moon again. She's already qualified, so she's okay. Sasha's not qualified.
They had a little backstage segment with Sasha and Bayley. Sasha saying good luck. So there's still, it's a long burn. It's a long burn, this feud, but it's
but they've kind of gone their comeback.
We are less than 3 months away from SummerSlam.
Talk about
so
open it out.
So whatever the July pay.
But going into WrestleMania, they were at it.
Yeah, but I think around the July pay per view, whatever that will be, is it? I think Extreme Rules. I think it is.
Hell in a Cell.
No, that's usually that one. I think it's Extreme.
Sunday
Rules.
Christmas.
It's Extreme Rules or Battleground. Battleground sounds about right, but
Some of these
I'd rather have Extreme Rules as a pay per view instead of Battleground.
I'd rather have a good 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, but I think you'll see
pay-per-view.
some sort of turning on each other at that point.
Again, it's starting to lose some cred though, mate.
Maybe.
Do you know what I mean?
But I
You
think
can't
they're building up to SummerSlam, and I'm pretty sure they're building up for SummerSlam because of the Brooklyn takeover match they had.
Well, you said that on
You know,
Twitter, I think,
yeah.
about 3
So-
years. Well, if they did that, then fine.
Yeah.
But they got to make it because it's in Brooklyn again.
Yeah, exactly. It's the last
Same
time
building.
it's in Brooklyn.
Same building.
Yeah, same building.
Okay, so Alexa Bliss is qualified. 2 more matches. The first is a tag match. It is Drew Galloway. Drew McIntyre. My apologies.
Get it right,
Get it right. And Dolph Ziggler
Mr. Ziggles.
on Raw in a tag match against Braun Strowman and Finn Balor.
Yes.
Your thoughts just
let's
on the match before we even get into the
let's
finish.
put Braun and Finn in a tag team because we've got nothing else better for them to do, and pretty much the same with Braun. It has been since WrestleMania.
So Braun's in Money in the Bank, as is Finn.
Yes.
So
Maybe
they kind of don't have anything to do.
Yeah, makes sense in that sense of word, but it's not being funny. Braun's your biggest babyface on the show.
Yes. He's big. He's bigger than anyone else.
I'm not saying. Look,
And do you know what we should do? We should make them lose.
yeah, but that's the thing. You see that even last week when it was Braun and Bobby. Sorry, at Backlash when it was Braun and Bobby versus Kevin and Sammy. You're just like, well, if they lose, it doesn't really matter. Like,
well,
but it's like Braun shouldn't really be losing at the moment. In my eyes, if they got nothing for him to do, or they're pushing him towards a title match at SummerSlam or something like that, you know,
Braun going into Money in the Bank. Braun for me is odds-on favourite, no question. Will he win? Is a completely different story.
I think Braun should win the briefcase, challenge Lesnar straight up match.
Just straight up.
No dirty cash in, just straight up.
Like
cash in
the
briefcase.
only other two people from memory that have done that was Cena and RVD.
Yeah.
RVD on Cena at ECW One Night Stand 2006, and Cena on CM Punk on a Raw.
Yes, I think it was.
And Big Show screwed that up, from what I remember. Yeah. So yeah, I think Braun just goes right. Brock, me, you, SummerSlam, this for that. Yeah. Come on, let's do this. No messing around.
Haven't beat Roman Reigns on the way there.
Yeah, well, yeah. Why not? Why not?
There's credibility that way.
So Dolph pins Finn because that was shocking enough. But what happens on the outside is also quite funny. Braun is again. He's charging down around the ring, and normally he ends up pushing guys over that are like The Miz, like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, guys that are smaller than him, and obviously way less than him. Now, Drew McIntyre is a big dude.
6'6", isn't he? Legit 6'6".
I mean, you've seen that photo of me next to him. I mean, I look like a friggin' Poddington P next to him, quite frankly. I look like a borrower. Well, you know, yeah, pretty much. Out and around. And Drew is huge. He's a huge human being. And it's like, I think Cole said, it's like 700 pounds of mass. And as Braun has gone into him, they've both gone down, and Drew has rolled, hit Braun's Royal Rumble trophy. And as he's panned back to the ring to see Dolph and Finn finish off the match, all you hear is on the outside is bang, and it's like, I want to see that now, but they never showed us.
I'm sure WWE will get the Saudi Arabians to pay for another trophy.
I wonder how much that costs. I'm really surprised that we haven't seen Braun with that beautiful green belt.
Yeah.
For at least like a month or something, before he then explains that he's had to leave it somewhere.
That belt, as much as obviously it's a standard WWE title looking belt, just with a green belt, it did look awfully cheap.
Do you think so?
No, I think it didn't look as like thick and padded as
the WWE have obviously made the money and decided we have to buy a title. Why is that? Why is there
plastic?
Why is there? Is it because they couldn't get the trophy to be lifted?
Probably, but like you think like when the Cruiserweight Classic.
So they got the title for TJP.
Yeah, they had the.
What a surprise!
They had the crown. They had the.
Is there a crown?
Yeah, I'm sure. It was a crown.
Are you not thinking of King of the Ring?
No.
And the staff? Was that?
Yeah, it was something like it was. But they had more than just title.
I think it was a staff.
There was a trophy and.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going to call it a scepter because it's not a scepter, but it was something.
Ooh, I like that.
But it was something on top of.
Okay.
So.
I'll tell you.
It wasn't just being Cruiserweight champion. It was like there was. So
it was a nice touch, but I kind of want to see him with that. But yeah, that was funny when he got knocked over. But Dolph pinning Finn, let's just kind of see where Dolph's been and gone. Where he goes from this is difficult to say. I do expect Drew to benefit more, but I think that's the point.
Yeah,
I think Dolph is a perfect guy.
I like this tag team, and they had a little backstage segment holding the phone up, the selfie cam, and they said that there's no leaders in this locker room. They're all a bunch of like pansies, and you know they don't get what being a WWE superstar is, and this is not like the locker room back in 2009.
Well, that's what Drew was.
Yeah, Dolph were together, and it was like that just makes perfect sense. Short, sweet, simple, done, and they're a great tag team, and they're working well.
They're finished the well, they didn't do it today, but the
Claymore kick into the zigzag.
Oh, the timing for one thing has to be literally inch perfect, and if anyone's going to do it, these two guys can do that.
Yeah, I see them as tag team champions down the line. I don't see it happening just yet. I think they still need to establish a team, establish a few more victories.
I know repeating history is always you're the new this, or you're the new that, but I cannot help but see Shawn Michaels and Diesel.
Yeah,
I cannot help but do it. I know it's not the same.
Dolph copies Shawn to a degree in his move sets, and
but Drew and Kevin Nash are nothing like each other.
No,
but
Drew's a much better.
Cannot literally miles. But you cannot help but see them in this. But anyway, I love him. I love him as a tag team. Main event, we've got a spot open. A spot has opened because Jinder cannot wrestle. So we have Bobby Lashley versus Elias versus Kevin Owens. Tell the boys and girls how Kevin got into this match, Kieran.
Kevin rung Mummy Stephanie.
Mummy Stephanie! That's so funny.
Can I be entered into the Money in Bank briefcase? Mad a match, Mummy, please.
And Mummy went, of course. How does Stephanie talk? Okay, Mr. Baker, of course you can be Money in the Bank.
Sounds more like Itchy from Itchy and Scratchy.
Okay. What about
Poochie?
Poochie?
Poochie.
Jesus Christ. Do you reckon so Stephanie's got back to Poochie's home planet because we haven't seen her?
Yeah, probably.
Is that where she's gone?
But interesting, like Stephanie was over in America because Ronda was over in America, and Nia Jax was over in America, and Charlotte was over in America.
Yeah, I wondered how, because obviously the big story coming out the last few days is that Ronda will face Nia Jax at Money in the Bank for the women's Raw title.
So we'll talk about this because we haven't. I think we've literally forgot to mention that.
Well, no, I was saving it.
Okay.
I was saving it because it's a huge part of Raw. It's not supposed to be in the Ramble because it's part of a storyline.
Yeah.
It's too soon. Is it too soon?
I think it's too soon. I think it is too soon, right?
But before then, she will wrestle quite a lot on house shows.
Yeah.
We already know this. Her debut is tomorrow night in this country. She's coming over to this country. Charlotte's here now.
Yeah, no, I think
Charlotte flew over.
Ronda's not wrestling in this country. She's wrestling in France. And
I suppose she's wrestling tonight. Tomorrow. Yeah, tonight, which is Wednesday.
Yeah.
But she's wrestling a lot. They originally said her a debut match, House Show Paris.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Mickey James.
Yeah. So, I agree. I think it's not. I think it's too soon. But I think they're just trying to cash in on the what happened at WrestleMania.
Momentum.
The momentum which came from that.
I cannot see if the match goes ahead. She has to and it goes down credibly. She has to win. If it doesn't, then someone needs to because she can't get pinned, mate. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not having that.
Nia Jax making the challenge makes Nia Jax look like
a sweet ass. But they did it in a friendly way. They were next to each other,
and they walked off hugging each other after, which was very weird. But yeah, okay.
She's a killer.
Yeah.
She's not like most girls, and is like, let's be honest, dominant. Yet they're hugging and they're smiling and they're. I mean, come on, girls.
They could have cut that bit out.
Come on, girls. You want to? I could talk about another hour about this, but I'll leave it at that because I don't like that.
So Jamie raised an interesting point when it about that. It was like about possibly Nia actually beating Ronda legitimately, and then Ronda goes, "Well, I need to try harder. I need to train."
It's a great story arc.
And then that pushes her on to facing Charlotte or Asuka at WrestleMania next year for the actual women's title. No more women's title matches on the way there. She wins the Rumble, goes into WrestleMania, and I like her first legitimate.
I like the idea of her winning the women's Royal Rumble
because I don't think a loss would hurt Ronda as much as most people would think because it's a new thing. Everyone's going to have losses at the beginning of their wrestling career unless you're Goldberg
or Kurt Angle.
You know.
Just a few.
You know, that there's not many that don't.
No.
But
it's true. It's true.
So, but I see this match, and we'll obviously talk about it in the Money in the Bank preview show we'll do in a couple of weeks. But I do see some sort of interference in this match that prevents Ronda from winning.
Anyway, Stephanie has told Kevin Owens he can be in the main event for this tonight. Triple threat match, Money in the Bank. Winner goes on to be part of the 8-man match. Again, a very nice match. A very, very nice match. And surprisingly, in his second match of the night, Kevin Owens wins. But not before Bobby Lashley's hit Elias with his finish. Elias is done at this point. Sami Zayn pulls Bobby Lashley out. So basically, Sami has cost Bobby the opportunity to qualify for Money in the Bank. Kevin sees this, capitalizes, and pins Elias. Elias done in the, we wonder where Elias can go from these scenarios.
I thought Elias may have been in this in terms of superstars. I thought would be in the ladder match.
How many have qualified now?
I think it's 6.
Because you normally from type have 7 people qualify or 1 shy, and then you normally have like some big last chance run battle royale. So they might still have Elias go in.
Yeah,
like I've said before.
Yeah,
just because like Daniel Bryan on SmackDown, just because you lose the qualifying match doesn't mean you won't end up in the match overall. Yeah. That's the way they've done it over the years. Kevin and Sami, they dance off together celebrating, and it looks like because Sammy doing a promo on his own, Kevin doing stuff on his own. It looks like they want us to keep us aware that they're still together, but they don't have to be holding hands the whole time. So
they're literally like a loose version of a stable of a tag team.
Tag team,
it's they help each other out, but they got their own things going on.
Yeah. So that's Monday Night Raw. I thought it was an okay show for a UK effort. To be fair, missing a few big names like we've said, but again, I'm
sure the crowd weren't happy that Ronda wasn't there.
Yeah,
the crowd probably weren't happy that Nia wasn't there. Authors of Pain weren't there.
So big players not around. Obviously, Dean's still injured. Yeah. Jason Jordan's injured still. But again, no sort of time frame on their return. So that was Monday Night Raw. We're going to now move on to SmackDown Live, and we've got a couple more. We've got a new guy coming on in Andrade Cien Almas. We'll talk about him and Selena Vega and what they're going to bring to SmackDown Live. Also, we've got some more qualifying matches and the main event between AJ and Nakamura. The winner of that match gets to pick the stipulation for their match at Money in the Bank. So stick around for SmackDown Live. SmackDown Live in the United Kingdom. It kicks off with Renee Young and Daniel Bryan in the ring. The ovation for Bryan is thunderous. They never thought they'd see this, especially in this country, and we get to see Bryan in the ring.
Usually Bryan doesn't come over for the UK. When he was general manager, did he ever come over to the UK?
Not from memory. Not even Shane did for that week. That week we did. The commentary team goes, Shane McMahon backstage just made this match in the commercial break. Like Shane's not actually here, is he? Because last time they were here, we saw SmackDown. Yeah. And we missed the Ty Dillinger thing, and you had your perfect 10 t-shirt on because you said, the show starts at 7:30.
Yeah, it started at 7.
Yeah. So we missed that. Big Cass comes out to interrupt Bryan, and he basically says Bryan should be a house husband. And,
he'd be a good looking house husband.
He would. Yeah. I can see him doing his DDP yoga and his CrossFit in the garden. Yeah. With his top off and Birdie in the little baby thing and the stroller and I couldn't.
And then by night he's an assassin
for wrestling everywhere. So, but Bryan then starts to systematically take Big Cass apart. He basically, I've written down here, he chops down the tree, which he does. Yeah, he chops down the tree.
That's his style. He can do that. That's Bryan to a T, basically, isn't it?
So I'll say now, they have announced a match for next week, Samoa Joe versus Big Cass for a Money in the Bank qualifying match. I'm not sure Big Cass will be clear to wrestle. It'd be interesting to see if it's a swerve or if it's going to be Joe will win, but Cass will kind of keep some sort of credibility, get him beat at a pay-per-view, chopped down by Bryan, but only loses to Joe because he's kind of injured.
Yeah, or he has a replacement in the match, which will be Daniel Bryan.
And Joe versus Bryan. But then, same with Roman. Bryan gets 2 chances to qualify. Doesn't matter how it happened.
This is on SmackDown.
The land of opportunity.
Raw, so.
Well, there's something else that happened on SmackDown later on that's the same as happened on Raw, which I didn't like. So, careful. Miz on commentary, which is definitely a future career.
It's definitely a yes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't think I'd like to see him as a backstage. I mean, he could be backstage interviewer, but I think to have him on the show all the time as a commentator.
Yeah, I think it'd be something that will happen when his career winds down. The Miz also hasn't really had a serious long-term injury, and
because of his style.
Yeah, and at some point, if he does have 6 months where he needs to recuperate or whatever, you could see a spell on commentary for him.
Absolutely,
to keep a feud going, to start a feud, to it could be anything. So,
100%. So New Day versus The Bar. It's Biggie and Xavier, beg your pardon, versus Sheamus and Cesaro. The winning team gets to pick one member to be in the Money in the Bank match. Now, I can only assume that because Kofi didn't wrestle in this match, he won't be picked. However, come the end of the match, the New Day win, with Woods with a lovely elbow. And all 3 members of the New Day are on the graphic.
Yep.
So even Kofi didn't wrestle, Kofi still might be picked. Now, Kofi has a long history in Money in the Bank matches.
Which is probably why he might be the one in it.
But, what you were saying earlier...
So, I'd like to see Big E in it.
Why? Why Big E, not Kofi?
Out of
or Xavier. Why not Xavier?
Out of the 3, I think if you look at them, Big E's the most credible-looking guy to be WWE champion.
Age, a good thing on his side?
Yeah. Not saying that Kofi deserves a chance to be WWE. He's been around for ages. He deserves at least a one-on-one title match.
Yeah.
You know.
You said to me off before just in between Raw and SmackDown, you told me, Kieran, a amazing way to book the New Day.
Okay, so whether this will be all 3 of them in the Money in the Bank briefcase match, or one of them in, and then that one of them takes control of the briefcase, but then the whole group, the rest of the 2 were like, well, someone, no, this is our briefcase. Because they shared everything else, shared tag team titles, they shared, well, you know, the ice cream, the bootios, all that stuff.
Even if one of them's in it, the other 2 can say, well, we qualified it as a team, and we picked you. So technically you represented the team, and we all won.
And I believe,
if they win.
If you believe rumours, is that their New Day merch is not selling as much as it has done recently. So why is it? It's about time they break up. And we've talked about it for probably about a year, but it's getting to that point they could break up. So why not have them, literally all 3 of the New Day, feud over that briefcase, running into SummerSlam, triple threat match between all 3 of the New Day. The winner gets the briefcase.
The winner gets the briefcase.
The winner gets the briefcase.
So whoever wins. So say if whoever they represent them at some Money in the Bank, say it's Big E, just for argument's sake, and Big E wins, then Kofi and Woods both say, well, it's all of ours.
Yeah.
We get to pick when we as a team cash
and then they
in.
Disagree.
Yes, of course. And then the only way to solve it, Shane and Paige make the match for, say, SummerSlam, as a triple threat match for the Money in the Bank briefcase. The
then
winner.
You may see a Big E heel turn or Xavier heel turn. I don't think Kofi would be the heel in any circumstance.
I can see. I mean, Woods has been a heel, so has Big E.
Yeah.
Kofi, not so much. Don't think I can remember.
Big E needs such Big E would need such a big character change to become a heel. Whereas Xavier, I think he can almost
tweak
just tweak it a little bit, and then it's done.
I mean, I love that. I think that's such a great idea. Moving in, it won't. If it happens, there's a microphone in this bedroom, and they're listening to us. Cien Andrade Almas and Selena Vega debut on.
Just remember, 100 is better than 10.
Yeah, it's confusing. They debuted on SmackDown. And forgive me, but I do not remember the name of the person. But they won, and they mocked him afterwards. It was just an introduction.
Yeah.
And
in front of a UK crowd, rabid fans, you know, get him over. But a lot of us over here was NXT.
Yeah, a lot of people.
So they're going to be behind him. So that when it goes over to the casual fans in America, they go, oh, the UK fans cheered him last week, so maybe, or cheered him, or got behind him, or booed him, or whatever. So the US fans next week will be behind him. I think it's a great way to introduce someone. Yeah,
it's incredible, you know, because I remember when Almas was just in NXT and he was, for lack of a better phrase, treading water.
Yeah,
and they literally tweaked the character and gave him Selena Vega. And
Selena is the reason why he's been called up.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as saying she's the reason. I think she's a massive contributor to that reason, because at the end of the day, she can't go in there and do those 5-star matches for him.
Yeah.
So she's a very credible reason. One of the reasons. Another reason is that maybe they've just allowed him to get in these matches, and they've given him 20-25 minutes with Johnny, with Aleister Black. And he's had very good matches.
It'd be interesting to see if Zelina gets involved in matches.
She's a great wrestler for herself.
But because obviously she got involved in quite a few NXT matches doing Hurricanranas and things
and she only wrestled once against Candice and lost.
Yeah.
So
could she do double duties? Could she go back down to NXT?
Some of them do for a short time.
Could she be in the second Mae Young Classic?
Well, there you go.
The potential there.
There you go.
But no, it'd be interesting to see if she gets involved in matches on SmackDown on pay-per-views. I think if she does, I wouldn't want to see her getting involved in just pointless matches on SmackDown. I'd like her to see if Almas is in a feud, say, with Daniel Bryan. She gets in and gets involved and tries taking Daniel Bryan out in the middle of the match with a Hurricanrana. that's a perfect time to do it, but not doing it in a tag team match or a one-on-one match against, you know, Kurt Hawkins or something like that. You know, it'd be pointless.
Mm-hmm.
So, be interesting to see where it goes for me. Definitely. I think it's a great call up for SmackDown.
No, it is absolutely. Next, we move on to Carmella with her celebration.
Celebration.
Can I get my words around that? Celebration. And she has 3 of, it looks like, people that stand outside Buckingham Palace.
What they
the big hats.
beef eaters. That's what they're called.
Yeah, the hats, the beef eaters.
Yeah, they're called beef eaters.
Why?
I don't know.
Weird.
Don't ask me.
Long
They're
black
called beef
hats
eaters.
would be a better word.
Study your royal knowledge. There's a royal wedding this Saturday.
I love the brush.
What are you doing?
Watching too much wrestling.
We're close by to Windsor. Why are you not going?
I went to Windsor College, to be fair, so there you go.
What happened to you?
Yeah. They and she, you know, she's in the ring. She's celebrating with the bunting and the you know, her what do you call her almost patented colours.
Yeah.
Paige comes out and says, we actually have your women's challenger for this next pay-per-view coming up, Money in the Bank. And Carmella's like, okay, bring whoever this out is. And it's Asuka. Asuka will challenge Carmella at Money in the Bank for the SmackDown Women's title.
So before we talk about Asuka versus Carmella, I want to raise a point. And it was something I was going to raise last week, but I didn't end up talking about SmackDown. Paige's GM, I think, is a good fit. I'm not shitting on that.
Allegedly, I read today, she found out the day of when she became GM. Road Dogg and the team went up to her on the day and said, you'll be in GM.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. Okay, so for that day. But anyway, so my point is, as a general manager, Paige is a very, very good-looking young woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as a manager of anything, should you not dress more appropriately?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying that, you know, because she's a woman, she should cover up. And she's not saying she's a great-looking woman, she can dress how she likes.
Of course.
But in terms of a manager capacity,
of course,
when you're managing superstars, you're a manager, executive of a multi-billion-pound company.
Yes, of course.
Should you not dress a little bit more appropriately?
Of course.
I'm not saying don't, you know, keep the tits away.
Sure.
If they're out a little bit, they're out a little bit. Everyone's, you know, women of, you know,
it's
different ages and different sizes have got different sized tits and everything like that. So sometimes they're going to be out. But look, you look at the way that Stephanie dresses on Raw. That's appropriate to me as an executive.
No, I hear what you're saying. It's a very, 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 very difficult subject. So I commend you for approaching it. You're right. Because of the society we live in today, anyone should be allowed to dress however he or she wants to. But, like you say, the Stephanie and when Vicky Guerrero was general manager of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown.
Even sort of like Lana to a degree, like when she first started with the suits. I know obviously she still had her boobs out and that, but it was
cleavage.
And I'm not saying that she shouldn't show her cleavage or anything like that, because you know you can still dress appropriately and still have a bit of cleavage out, you know. But I just think that in terms of this role, maybe she needs to dress a bit more appropriately. Maybe she needs to dress down a little bit more in terms of maybe wearing jeans or something, much like what Daniel Bryan and Shane did.
Yeah, no, they do. They're very. It's almost like casual Fridays. Yeah, SmackDown
exactly.
Live.
That's what she can dress casually. I just think.
Well, she is casual, but
I'm not being funny. If I'm a generic wrestler and Paige calls me into her office, I'm going to be looking not at her face. I'm going to be looking 10 inches down and going.
That's
okay.
a belly. That's a belly. Then that's 10 inches. It'd be a belly.
It's not well.
Yeah, it's a very
I'd be interested to see if this changes at some point in the future. It'd probably be something where Vince or Stephanie come in and say, Paige, we need you to dress a little bit. We need to cover them up a little bit. You know, I think that will happen at some point.
We'll see how it goes on.
But look, I'm from a male perspective, I'm not sitting there complaining. I just think from a, you know, generic story like wrestling opinion of a wrestling show in terms of from a management point of view, should she
a corporate point of view,
should she be dressing like that?
No, okay, no,
but potentially that could be a feud at some point down the line. Paige, you're not what we want as a general manager because you do not dress appropriately.
Hey, why not? Yeah. Let's use what they've got. Why not?
It could be a feud in a women's division thing, like not that she can get involved, but she could have like the Miz and Daniel Bryan had.
She can ref.
Yeah.
We've seen with Bryan, they allowed him to ref. And who's to say that Paige won't be cleared one day?
Yeah.
And now with what happened to Bryan, anything's possible. So speaking of Paige, she does make another match later on in her office. The rest of her team, Absolution, well, ex-Absolution, if you like, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville come in and see her and say, come on, Paige, put us in the Money in the Bank match. You can do that now. And Paige says, you can't just be put into a match. You have to qualify. And you're going to be in a match tonight, both of you. Brilliant, excellent. It's going to be a handicap match. Great. Oh, cheers. Who is it? Well, actually, guys, it's not so much as a handicap. It's actually a triple threat match. Oh, okay. And it's going to be you, Mandy, versus you, Sonya, versus Becky Lynch. So, instantly, I'm thinking, didn't they do something like this on Raw with Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Bayley? It's like, yeah, they did. So, again, slightly similar ways we've got going on here with this one. I must admit, when they came out for this match, I was like, whose music is this?
Yeah.
It was Mandy Rose's.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
I've only seen the video of her new. I don't know what her new music is. So you pardon the ignorance. I literally watched a video on side as you do on Facebook. But it had like the soft glowing effect around the side, and I think that's perfect for Mandy.
She walked slowly.
Yeah.
It almost trying. To me, I was like, I think they're trying to put in a slow motion.
Yeah, it's some sort of it's like a mesmerised look in it. It's like that typical 70s, 80s cheesy. There's a good looking woman, so everyone's got their jaws down to the floor, looking slowly. It's a bit like that. That's almost what it sort of come off to me.
Yeah, it was different, but again, I just think her and Golda should be together because I think they'd be a great team. Yeah. Mandy Rose's music, I knew that straight away. I liked her. I like her music in NXT. I think it fits her well, and obviously Becky Lynch. They do turn on each other eventually in this match. They kind of try and pin in each other very quickly. Again, just like Alexa did with Mickie James on Raw. But unlike on Raw, where Bayley didn't come out on top, Becky did.
Yeah.
So Becky, as well as Charlotte from SmackDown, has qualified.
So in terms of the people that qualified for the Money in the Bank match at the moment, so it's Charlotte, Becky, Alexa Bliss, and Ember Moon. The ones I like, the ideas that I have in my head, Charlotte, I'd like to see her win it to cash in on Carmella.
Same night?
Turnabout's fair play. And all that
Same night?
Same night.
That would be talk about storytelling for its absolute fullest potential.
Second one, like, in terms of Becky Lynch, I hope this is the catalyst to push Becky Lynch, because she's done absolutely nothing.
Do they need to turn her heel?
Possibly, but
she was a heel back in the day.
That ultimately could turn her heel. Like, her having the briefcase, her cashing in after a match, her cashing in someone like Charlotte, or her cashing in someone like Asuka.
Asuka wins and Becky pins Asuka.
Would probably mean
sweet
Becky turns heel.
Yeah, which is fine, I think.
But she's not really done anything since she lost the SmackDown Women's title. And
no,
that's
she
a long
hasn't.
time ago.
A hell of a long time. I mean, what, last WrestleMania?
She's just changed her ring gear, which is usually a step in a different direction when you're trying to change things up.
Keep it fresh.
Yeah, they're doing backstage segments where she's saying, "Oh, why didn't I help Charlotte that week?" And she was eating quinoa and things like that. But maybe they can just turn into that, saying that she's more interested in focusing on herself, and that's like just a premise for a heel turn in my eyes. She needs to do something.
She does.
She necessarily doesn't have to turn heel. She can just be a face, but she needs to be pushed. She's too good a wrestler, not just to leave,
just to be hanging
treading
around.
Water, basically.
It was the same with Natalia.
Yeah,
and now they kind of are doing something with her, but it's kind of sort of stopped really.
Because there's not a lot of time on the show, and they can't seem to dedicate as much time as they probably would like to the women's division.
Sure,
people are going to get lost. Becky's going to get lost. Natalia got lost. Even Asuka might get lost in certain weeks and things like that.
The other match that happened, the only last match happened on SmackDown Live, was a match between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. Now you're thinking, they're wrestling on SmackDown. This will be the 4th time they've wrestled. 3 of them on pay-per-view. And so with WrestleMania, Backlash, Greatest Royal Rumble, they're going to wrestle on SmackDown. People don't necessarily like seeing the same thing on a free television show. This match was stipulated as winner gets to pick the stipulation for Money in the Bank. So we know, before they've even wrestled tonight, that they will wrestle again. So that will take the total to 5.
That's what I was a bit confused about. I saw Shane's announcement. He says he's going to be wrestling at Money in the Bank, and then he says he's going to be wrestling on SmackDown.
That's why Twitter was
I was like, yeah,
wasn't clear.
No, it wasn't clear.
But what that means is that they wrestle 5 times. Now, already you know that it's 1-0 to AJ with 2 draws. Okay. So you're thinking, how can they do it tonight? Surely, Nakamura has to win. AJ can't win again if he did, then Nakamura would have to win at the pay-per-view, because then that would be five matches, 3-0 to AJ, and because they can't do another draw at
Didn't
pay-per-view.
James Ellsworth beat AJ twice?
He did. Once by pinfall.
Yeah.
And at the time, I think he was WWE champion.
Yeah.
He's in TNA now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, sorry, Impact
Impact
Wrestling.
Wrestling, yeah. So Rich One.
Hmm?
So Rich One,
Is he?
apparently.
Good for him. Good stuff. And I loved the finish of this match.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Nakamura's gone for one Kinshasa. He got it. 1-2 kick out. Goes for another one. AJ gets out of the way. They work round it. AJ ends up on the apron. Gets ready for his phenomenal forearm. Nakamura pulls the referee in. He doesn't hit the ref, AJ, but the ref cowers over. So the referee is turning the other way, cowered over, hoping he doesn't get hit. They all kind of stop for a second. Then they turn around, and Nakamura's holding his family jewels.
Yes.
To insinuate, it's a great word. Insinuate that AJ has kicked him in the man pits.
Can you spell insinuate?
Not a chance. Don't even bother. Has kicked him in the old fruits, and the referee is like, "You kicked him. You just kicked him in the what's it?" And AJ's like, "No, I didn't. And he's like, "But you did, because he's holding it, so I must disqualify you." It's like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Eddie Guerrero, love this stuff. Nakamura doesn't wait for the ref to call for the bell for the disqualification. He gets him with a half and half suplex. Bang, AJ's on his head. One hits him with a Kinshasa. 1, 2, 3. Nakamura pins AJ on SmackDown. So it's 4 matches, 2 draws, a win each. We go in to Money in the Bank with Nakamura picking the stipulation. With basically, that's it then. I expect Money in the Bank to be it.
So yeah, I do too.
We don't know the stipulation yet. 2 rumours. 1 is an Iron Man match, which I'd be all for.
Yeah.
Half an hour. The other is a last man standing match, which
Okay,
could
so
still have a draw.
These are the things in terms of a stipulation. When a heel picks a stipulation, why would you pick an Iron Man match? Why would you pick a last man standing?
The
match?
Iron Man. Well, all of these matches, have champion's advantage.
Yeah, but why would you not pick a match where AJ Styles has to have both arms tied behind his back? I'm not being. But as a heel, you
can pick whatever you want.
Do that?
You can pick whatever
Exactly.
you want. Why would you not pick AJ Styles with having what? Okay, let's just say AJ Styles in a match, he has to have one arm, one arm tied behind his back. Well, there you go. Why don't they have it? Read a book in Japanese in 3 minutes. Yeah. There you go. Nakamura's won.
Yeah. I'd love an Iron Man match. I think an Iron Man match would be perfect.
Half an hour.
Half-hour time limit.
If it's a draw,
2 out of 3 falls, something like that. Perfect.
2 out of 3
There's
falls.
something we talked about off air that we haven't seen in a very long time. The 3 stages of Hell match.
Yeah.
Where you could add 3 stipulations into 1 stipulation.
I'm pretty sure Stone Cold and Triple H.
Yeah, they must.
And like I think I said to you as well, to get that match, because Austin and Triple H weren't allowed to touch each other, because one would be stripped of his WWF title shot, which is Austin, and one would be suspended without pay for 6 months, Triple H. Why not do a match where, because in that match, Austin had Rikishi representing him, the man that ran him over, and Triple H had The Rock, a man that's basically been a thorn in his side for the good part of the year. Why not have 2 other people represent AJ and Nakamura without them actually having to wrestle? And that could have been Brian and Big Cass.
Yeah, or Brian and Samoa Joe, or it could be anyone.
It could have been any 2 people you could bring in. You know, could imagine AJ going to Brian and goes, "I need you tonight, man. I need you to represent me tonight." You know, great.
Quite good.
Was that good?
Deep South accent.
Is that nice?
Yeah.
Thank you.
My name's Cletus.
Jesus. It's not Simpsons. This is my children: Doreen, Taurine, Smythe,
Maureen,
Corey the second, Corey the third, Boris,
Cletus Jr.,
Cletus Jr.
Bob Lee,
Dylan, Derek, Maurice, Cletus.
You can't think of any more names, can you?
Do you remember that scene?
Big Cass. He's not so big. He's only
like,
little.
Can you imagine he's the youngest one there? Big Cass. Enzo.
I don't know why he's doing this dance.
Oh my god. Yeah, so you could have drafted in another couple of guys.
I like the Shout of the Iron Man match. I like that. So
let's hope we see that.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you very much for watching. Well, sorry, thank you very much for listening.
I hope they're not watching.
Well, you could be watching this on YouTube.
Well, yeah,
which is technically a video.
Yeah,
so
there's no actual visual representation of my beautiful face and your skinny, weird, blonded, sort of half scruffy, bearded face.
I shaved. So this has been the first week we've done this back for 3 weeks. So thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate your time, patience, and persistence with us. Please check us out. If you're listening to this on SoundCloud, go on iTunes. If you're listening to this on iTunes, go on YouTube. You're all over the place. There's nowhere you can't find Dirt Sheet Mania. Give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter, and a like on Facebook. The director, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Craig Anderson.
Thank you very much. Check us out.
Are you the son of referee John Anderson from Gladiators?
Yeah, I am actually.
Oh,
He's my granddad.
Oh, okay.
He's older than me.
Are you ready, contender? Are you ready?
Are you ready, contender?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I've always wondered.
Yeah. Check out the Royal Ramble. That's going to be out in a couple of days. So if you listen to this on iTunes or SoundCloud, it might actually already be out. If not, it'll be out in a day or two. So we will see you in a couple of days. So thank you very much, guys. And this has been episode 15 of Dirt Sheet Mania. Bye-bye.
Dilly dilly!
Dilly dilly!